Good morning, church. I am Keri. I have been worshiping with you probably since around Christmas. I sit over yonder, over here. And I just want to begin today. I want to say thank you to all of our dads. Today is your day. Today is a day where we say thank you for the love, thank you for the mentorship, thank you for your patience, thank you for your goodness, and just thank you for you. So thank you, dads. I think Pastor Mike started something last week. Started something in me last week. I was sitting right over this way, when he did something unprecedented, and he asked us to pull out our phones. You guys remember that? Yeah? I was looking for the eye of my grandmother around me, and my kids were looking for my eye. But he had us pull out our phones and had us pull up yahoo.com, and he had us start a search. And the search was, why are Christians so? And the next word was blank. And the Yahoo search assist tried to fill in the blanks for us. All right? So for those who were here last week, what was the one you remember of the list of 10 options that the Yahoo search assist gave us? Who remembers one? Judgmental. Why are Christians so judgmental? I forgot to warn you. As a preacher, I come with a warning label. I'm going to ask questions, and you guys have to answer them. Wow, that was crazy. Judgmental was one. That was one that jumped out at me. What was another one that jumped out at you? Mean. Why are Christians so mean? What else? What else jumped out at you? What do you remember? Hateful. Yeah, that was one. That was one. Another. Stupid. Yeah, he remembers them all. Stupid. There were 10 options to choose from to finish our sentence. And those 10, none of them were flattering. None of them were flattering. And it struck me. It hit me so hard. I knew the church. I knew that Christians, sometimes we had a bit of a PR problem. But this struck me. Because that search assist uses kind of an algorithm that takes all of the ways that people who have done that search and finished that sentence, the majority of them have finished that sentence with one of those 10 descriptors. Y'all, that hurts. Who here says they are really, really mean? Anybody want to claim that one? Who here says they're intolerant? Who wants to claim that one? I don't. So it struck me. I took a screenshot of it. It struck me. I wanted to keep it because I needed to live with that for a minute. I needed to know what that meant to me. And a couple days later, I was looking at my son's phone. My son is 11. And I noticed on there, he took a screenshot too. He's 11 years old, and he is starting on this journey of faith. He is beginning to know what being a Christian means to him. And he had to take a screenshot of this because it hurt him too. How do you start on this journey when a whole lot of people think that on this journey you have to be one of these 10 things? That's hard. So I think Pastor Mike started something in me, started something in my son last week, and I want to go with it. So will you go with me with this? How many times can I use the word with? A lot. My friends, I I want us to change the narrative. I don't want to be that kind of Christian. I want to be different. I want to change the narrative. Will you go with me? Thank you. Can we have a few more? Thank you. All right, so I was thinking this week, how do we change this narrative? Because it seems really big. It seems really big. And the Micah 6:8 verse jumped out at me. The Lord has told us what is good. The Lord has told us what is required on this journey of faith. It is to do justice. It is to love mercy, and it is to walk humbly. So how do we do the first thing? How do we do justice? We as a church, we've been doing justice things for centuries. Churches have started orphanages and schools and hospitals. We do this. This is a part of who we are. And yet the search assist was there. So how do we do justice now, here and now, and change the narrative? We just passed around the Give Back clipboards. It's one step. Give Back is a program that Joni told me about first. It's where on 4 holidays during the year where the shelters don't offer a meal, so we fill in the gap. My friends, that's justice work. There is a need, we fill it. There is hurt, there is hunger, we fill it. My friends, that's justice. And I don't know what all of you do on a daily basis, but I know that there's justice in your world. I know that there's justice in your world. So I challenge you to do it. And then on top of it, I challenge you to tell other people about it. Because if we have to change our narrative, we have to tell our story. We have to invite people to do the justice with us. Yes? We have to tell the story, because if we're doing justice and the only people who know it are in here, we're not changing our narrative. So my friends, find the justice in your day-to-day. Do it. Do that part of being a Christian, and then invite people to share it with you. What was the second part? There's do justice. What was the second part? Love mercy. Love kindness. What do we do when we love something? We bring it close. We want to just hold it, and everything that we do has something to do with that love. I'm going to make a confession to you. I love nachos. Who's with me? There is something magical about food on a chip. I'm telling you. I don't know what. But I have had nachos for breakfast with eggs and beans and salsa all the time. Yes, they hear that? Y'all, it's awesome. I've had nachos for lunch. I've had nachos for dinner. I've made curried chicken nachos. What's amazing about nachos is anything goes with a tortilla chip. So it can start any meal, right? This summer, I'm making my kids cook one meal a week, just to teach them how to use the kitchen, how to put a meal together. My daughter's kind of frustrated with me, and she goes, "Mom, can I just make nachos?" And a little tear of pride welled up. And I said, yes, we can make nachos. Because I love nachos, I would love for every meal to start with nachos. When we love something, oh man, wouldn't it be amazing to have that thing that we love with us all the time. And everything we do jumps off of that thing that we love. When we love mercy, holy cow. Can you imagine the kindness? Can you imagine the grace and the forgiveness that just comes out of you and starts with every conversation that you have because you love mercy? If you love kindness, you can't help. You can't help but show that kindness to the people in your midst. Are you with me? Are you with me when I say what it means to love mercy? So when we're doing justice, and it starts with that mercy and that kindness, none of those descriptors in that search engine fit. You cannot be both mean and kind, right? It doesn't work. When we are loving and kind, and everything we do comes off of that, my friends, it changes the narrative. And people say, like that song that they just sang, I want to be a part of that. I want to be closer to that. All right, so we've got do justice, we've got love kindness. What's the last one? Thank you, walk humbly. Walk humbly. You guys, that means every time we do justice, wherever you are and whatever you do, every time you do that, and it starts with that love and it starts with that kindness, my friends, it goes back to God. Everything we do begins and ends with the power of God. Everything we do. That Give Back Sunday, we're there because God told us, this is a need you need to fill, and you are my church. Be there lovingly. And we say, thank you, God. Yes? So everything we do begins and ends with the power of God. That's how we change our narrative. And I challenge you to take that in. I challenge you to not let that sermon stand, not let those search engines stand. Change the narrative. Risk sharing a little bit of your story. I'm going to share with you a powerful story, and I hope what it does is it illustrates to you just how to change that narrative and how powerful a story can be. And when we invite people in, we become the hands, the feet, and the heart of a powerful God. But I am going to need some audience participation. All right? So roll your shoulders back. I am also a fitness instructor, so this is safe. Roll your shoulders back. Rolling forward. We're warming up. We're warming up. Now, oh, I got my glasses. Hold on. I can't read a thing without them. I picked my floral ones for you. What do you think? All right. I have Customs Agent Tommy Austin. Will you please stand up, Officer Austin? Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Let me tell you something. You just heard a story that broke your heart. All right, so show me sadness. Thank you. Show me sadness. Your wife, stand up please, told you this story. All right, and it was about her friend, Linda. Stand up. Linda has a critically ill child. He's just 7. He's just 7 and he's critically ill. And his days, he's not going to live much longer. But he desperately wants to be a public safety officer. He wants to be a police officer. He just does. I mean, that's his dream. And the system says you have to grow up to be an adult. Right? But he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. So you tell your friend, you tell your husband, and Tommy, you're on a stakeout, so I don't need you sad anymore, I need you tough. Show me tough. You're on a stakeout with Ron Cox. Stand up, Ron. You are a Department of Public Safety officer. All right, so you're real tough too. All right? So you and Tommy are on a stakeout together. All right, so look really mean and like you're concentrating. Okay, so you're on the stakeout together. Now you tell Ron about this little boy and about how much you would love to grant his wish to be a public safety officer. Maybe we can make him a junior deputy of the Office of Public Safety. Yeah, you like that idea. You like that idea, right? So you take that idea. I don't know if your stakeout was successful, but let's just say it was. Okay? You guys are flying, like you're flying high on cloud 9. All right. So you go to your boss. Will you stand up, sir? You are Mr. Schmidt. You are Mr. Schmidt. And you then talk to Ralph. Ralph, will you stand up? And you guys are talking, and you're like, oh man, we need to do something. We need to do something to help this boy. So, Ralph, you tell Officer Schmidt, carte blanche to my department. Anything you need is yours. You tell Ron and Tommy, it's a go. Operation is a go. All right. So you draw other people in. All right? You draw Officer Jim Eyes, and you bring your patrol car. How cool is that? All right? You bring your motorcycle. Bring it out. I know, right? You, my friend, stand up. You bring your helicopter. How cool is that? How cool is that? Now, Chris is at Scottsdale Memorial Hospital. Chris is the little boy. And he's in the hospital. And his whole team of doctors and nurses, they've all been briefed on what's happening. So you guys all stand up because you're the doctors and the nurses. Stand up. So you get Chris ready. All right? You get him ready to come down to meet these people. All right? You're doing this. It's work. It's hard work. It's hard work. All right. So, Colonel Dick Schaefer, will you stand up? You give the man a Smokey the Bear hat. How cool is that? And you stand up, you bring one of your old badges. I know. So super cool. And Chris that day becomes the first and only honorary Department of Public Safety junior officer. And it is a great day. Chris is on cloud 9. Right? Oh, everyone so you guys invite your family. You guys stand up. Will you invite some of your friends from the neighborhood? Everybody comes, and everybody is so touched. All right, and then a couple of you go like, he can't just have a hat and a badge. We need to get him a uniform. Stand up. People at John's uniform, come stand up. You guys work all night long, and you make a uniform for Chris in his size and his favorite color. It's amazing. You guys work all night long. You go pick up the uniform. You're with her, and you give it to Chris. All right? Then, you do not even know how cool this is. You bring a motorized motorcycle. You set up the training course. And Chris earns his motorcycle wings that day. He's now the only honorary officer at Department of Public Safety, and now he has motorcycle wings. Everybody is involved and is so, so excited to be involved. That night, with his wings, with his uniform, and all of the gifts and love you guys showed him, Chris dies. Chris dies that night. And all of you who have been affected by this, all of the friends and the neighbors, stand up. All of you who are affected by this, you guys say, this can't go away. This can't be for nothing. This has to continue on. All right? So Frank, way at the front. Remember Frank? Frank, do you remember you? Frank at the front. He gets Scott with him. And Scott helps to form what is going to be a nonprofit organization that's going to grant wishes to critically ill kids. That's pretty cool, right? And so you guys you throw your own fundraiser. And all of you come, stand up. And you guys come too, stand up. And you know what you do? You give the first donation. Stand up. You are the grocery store manager, and you give $15 to this brand new, this brand new nonprofit. And this brand new nonprofit goes on to grant over 300,000 wishes to critically ill kids. What's the name of the organization? Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish. You guys heard about his $15 donation, and guess what? You guys gave. Stand up. And guess what? You guys gave. Yeah. This is the power of sharing a story. This is the power of doing justice and lining it and starting it out of a mercy and a kindness that is unprecedented. This is the power of including everyone in your midst and telling your story and asking them to share it with you. So look around here, my friends. What do we have? What do we have? We have a community. We have a church. Yes? We have a church that does justice, that loves mercy, and resembles nothing of that Yahoo search. We have forgotten about it. All right? So my friends, well, the rest, if you're not standing, please stand. I want you to stand and finish this message with your hands out wide here. We will end in prayer as the band comes forward and leads us in the rest of our service. Holy God, we are your sons and we are your daughters. We are your hands, we are your feet, we are your heart. Fuel us, God. Give us the courage to share our narrative. Give us the courage to share our faith in ways we never knew we could. Open our eyes to the justice that needs to be done around us. Fill our hearts with such mercy and kindness that no one can mistake it's from you. And fill these hands, God, with so much power and might that we become Christians who are so dedicated to you. All God's people said, Amen.